Hello! So in this video, I will be showing you how I went taking the hair loss medication minoxidil from 3 to 6 months. I'll be giving you a quick recap on how my first 3 months went, and then I will be keeping a diary of every single week and updating you on my hair loss, so whether it's increased, decreased, or stayed the same, and any side effects I've been experiencing. I'll also give you a really good look at the hair every week for the next 3 months. If you want to see how I went taking the hair loss medication minoxidil up to the 6-month mark, then stick around. Okay, so it is week 13, meaning it is my first week of my 3 to 6 month block on minoxidil 0.5. If you saw my 0 to 3 month hair loss video, you will have seen the difference from 0 weeks to 12 weeks. So this will be 13 weeks to whatever 6 months equates to. So this is where I started. This was my hair loss at 0 weeks. And then this is where I ended up at 12 weeks, so 3 months on minoxidil 0.5. And then this is where I'm starting. So this is week 13. I haven't had any side effects this week. I do have a cold and am a little bit sick, which has nothing to do with minoxidil. And then in terms of hair loss, it's been slightly more. So the 12 and 13 week marks have had, yeah, a little bit more hair loss. It's the end of week 14. Hair loss this week is definitely less than last week. I washed my hair today and had next to no hair loss. Side effects, I haven't had any side effects this week. I've had a bit of dizziness, but I think that was because I've been a bit sick. Okay, it is the end of week 15. Hair loss is next to nothing, but health is not great. I'm jet lagged and I'm sick again. I haven't had any side effects this week. It's the end of week 16, so this is the first time in over 10 months, I think it is now, that I've fully styled my hair with heat, so with a curler. My dermatologist did say I'm not meant to do that, but I have a wedding coming up and needed to try what hairstyles I might do, so I was like, I've got to put some heat on my hair. And I will say I am losing less hair than when I would style my heat like a year ago, before I even started excessively losing my hair. So it was crazy to see barely any hair falling out. So I've had a good hair loss week this week. No side effects. I am still sick, but yeah, hopefully I will get over that soon. It's the end of week 17. Hair loss has increased this week, which I'm not thrilled about. I washed my hair yesterday and there was quite a bit more fallout than I have been having. I'm not sure if it's because I used heat tools last week, but then I washed my hair on Saturday and it was okay. In terms of side effects, my skin is shocking. The worst it has been in months and months. I don't know if that is a hormonal thing. Maybe it's the change in food coming from the UK back to Australia. I'm not entirely sure. So it's not been the best week. It's the end of week 18. Hair loss this week has been about the same as last week. So I'm still shedding some smaller hairs, which isn't great, but overall I haven't had loads of hair loss. And in terms of side effects, I haven't really had any side effects. I have had some more acne on my face, but I feel like that is just me in general at the moment. It's the end of week 19. Yes, I am sick again. I don't know that it is a side effect or anything. I just seem to keep getting really run down and then getting sick. Hair loss this week. I've still been losing some baby hairs. I go back to the dermatologist next week, so I might run that by her. Let's have a look at the hair. end of week 20. I did have my 4-month check-in with my dermatologist yesterday, so I'll make sure there's a separate little video on that. Hair loss this week hasn't been too bad. I'm still losing some hair, but again, nothing next to what I was losing, so it's pretty minimal this week. And then side effects is still just that peach fuzz, which is quite fluffy at the moment. It's the end of week 21, hair loss is minimal, and side effects is still just this peach fuzz. I'm also getting so much new hair coming through, so my hair is super frizzy right now, but that's what you want. Week 22, hair loss is minimal, side effects are minimal, just a little bit of the fuzz. Let's have a look. It's the end of week 23. I have had some hair loss this week. I don't know if that's because I've had a longer period than usual. Anyway, we'll see what happens next week. No side effects that are causing me any problems. End of week 24, hair loss has been a little bit more again, so similar to last week. Hopefully it settles. And then in terms of side effects, again, it's just the fuzz on my face, and then also I noticed my arm hairs are quite long and there's just an abundance of them. It's the end of week 25. Hair loss this week has been a little bit more. It's still probably half of what it was before I started taking the medication. And side effects is still the peach fuzz on my face. I've also noticed that like my neck is getting a bit hairier, and then also my arms. It's the end of week 26, which marks 6 months on hair loss medication. So in terms of side effects, after that initial 3 months of having loads of different ones and adjusting to the medication, the remaining side effects seem to be some excess hair growth, so that peach fuzz on my face. I've also noticed that my arms have gotten a bit hairier, and my legs as well, and they're growing more quickly, I think. And I also have some hair growing down my neck, so just further down my neck than it normally would. Let me give you a quick visual of all of that hair growth. So in terms of hair shedding, by the end of that 3-month mark, I had about 25% of what I was getting before I started the medication. So I started at, 100% hair loss, and then it went to about a quarter of that at the end of the 3-month mark. Now that I'm at the end of 6 months, I'd say I'm averaging about 50% of that initial hair shedding at week 0 and before I started the hair medication. So it has gone up a bit, but is still not as excessive as it was before I actually started on minoxidil. Okay, so here are some before and after videos. So I'm going to start you off at week 0 and then have a look at where I am today, 6 months in at week 26. progress from 0 to 6 months. I'm really hoping you can see a difference in my hair in general and in the hair density, and yeah, I'm hoping it just looks like it's thickened up a bit. Stay tuned for my 6 to 9 month hair diary, which is the hair loss regrowth video I will be doing next. Until then, I will be back to my usual programming. Thanks for sticking around, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.